Hello, everyone. Reggie Chris. I would say thank you guys for subscribing to our channel. We're getting a lot of subscribers, which is awesome. But definitely to get the information out, share, engage with the channel. And yeah, let's get things rolling. What are we talking about today?
Discomfort.
Discomfort.
Yes.
Ooh, this is going to be interesting because
it is. I threw it together this morning.
Okay. Let me see. If you pulled it together this morning,
yes.
let's see if I can read your mind a little bit. Let's roll. So what when it comes to discomfort, how does that in today's life? How can we put that into today's life?
What do you mean? You know, Reggie, I gave you the question. Just read
I know.
the question.
My phone keeps locking up. So in today's episode, we're going to be discussing discomfort.
Yes.
Okay. Why is this so important in everyday life?
You did perfect. That's great. You read it right off the script. Nice job. I think that to answer that, I have to ask a question. What's the opposite of discomfort?
Comfort.
Okay. So, being comfortable in life. What's that mean?
Being comfortable in life.
Mm-hmm.
Being comfortable in life kind of means that you're not really pushing yourself. You're literally just kind of skating through.
You're coasting.
Coasting, that's the word.
Mm-hmm.
Coasting.
She's looking right now in her phone right now to try to help you with the unlock.
I love it. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. I mean, if you have comfort, the creature comforts, right? Like we get to go home, and even though it's 0 out today,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I complain because my wife's car doesn't have a steering wheel heater. Come on, really? That's absurd. You know? And, you know, my seat warmer doesn't work or whatever, right? Those are really nice comforts. But when I'm in a deer stand for 3 hours and it's 20 degrees or 15 degrees and the wind's blowing about 10, sometimes 15, 20 on a gust, and you're just sitting there. Your body core, your temperature just slowly drops, right? Because you're not moving. Your blood's sitting there, you're not moving, and your body just almost contracts. You get stiff, you're kind of like, you know, that's discomfort. However, when the deer comes by, 50 yards in front of you, right, and you hit a shot, you're able to harvest that deer, all that goes away. Because your adrenaline just gets like, holy smokes, it's amazing, you know? And then you turn that into sausage, you mix it with sausage, you make sticks that can have, you know, all kinds of different flavors in them, teriyaki and barbecue and things like that. All of a sudden, like, okay, this is what it's about. So discomfort equals comfort if it's done properly, or it equals peace, or it equals victory, or rewards, or winning, or accomplishments, or things like that. Discomfort. I mean, every day I've shared this, but every day on my things to do list, number 7 is discomfort. I have the word discomfort.
Really?
Every day, right? Like today, we get done filming at 3. It's stinking cold out, man. It's cold. And the sun's out, so it's not, doesn't appear to be as cold, but it's still going to be about 5 degrees, right? I might go for a hike with the dog. discomfort. Why? Because it pushes me to do something that's uncomfortable, but it's just getting some exercise. I can do the treadmill or whatever, right? But
Yeah, that's
not
what I
the
was
same.
thinking.
Not the same. In the snow with the dog, and Maverick loves the snow. He'll sit on top of his water bucket with his, right now it's solid ice. He'll sit on top of that when it's 15 degrees or 20 degrees out. We pull him in, so relax. You know, he's not out there when it's this cold. We got him inside the garage. Anyway, so discomfort equals growth. Equals growth in, you know, different parts of your life, depending on where you need to grow. And I think it's important in life. I mean, the Traveler podcast is all about life experiences. It's what it's about, traveling through life. What are we learning? What are we gaining? Discomfort, comfort, business, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, whatever it is. It's all those things, right? And I think discomfort is kind of a foundation to some of the things that we can discuss and we can talk about. So,
What about if let's review discomfort physically. I think that's something that we can all relate to. Like what?
yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, I think there's two things there, okay? Let's talk about medically.
Medically? Did you say medically?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what you just said. You kind of, medically?
Medically.
Are you saying that right, man? Is that? Medically.
Okay.
Okay, you with me?
I got you.
Okay, I just
was
wanna make sure.
I wasn't expecting you
Medical.
to go there. Okay.
Of course you weren't. That's the whole point, right? So, medically discomfort can be, that's a flag, right? That's a red flag. There's a warning. Something's going on, right? Sometimes we power through that and we man up and we don't want to acknowledge that. And I think that's something to be very careful of. When I was in Cuba a couple of weeks ago, first of the year, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, I had a cup of coffee. It's not really a cup of coffee. It's a, what do people call like the little shot, like a little shot of, like a is that cappuccino? What is that called? A cappuccino? What is
Yeah,
it?
those cappuccinos.
Is that
I'm not a coffee guy.
espresso?
Thank you.
Yeah. And I took one, which I never ever drink coffee, let alone an espresso,
Same.
right? And then later that night,
Can't sleep.
middle of the night, I felt this kind of, what is that?
What?
What is that? Just a little twing, on my heart. And I'm like, it's that dang coffee, man. I know better. But, didn't want to offend the folks that we were with and so on. So, but medical discomfort can be a warning to us, right? When it comes to physical discomfort. I think medical, we need to listen to our bodies. One of the things I learned a long time ago, my friend Jerry, shout out to Jerry, when I first started running, I was doing everything wrong. I was stretching completely cold before I ran. Cold. And I'd be like so sore and just dying like after. I'm like, dude, what's wrong? He said, Chris, you're doing it backwards. So what do you mean? He said, you need to walk 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. In the winter, I walk 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Get my blood moving. Get my body loose. Then I run. Then when I'm done, then I stretch. Okay? So the discomfort of a warning, there's something going on medically, physically with your body, man, we need to pay attention. The antennas need to be up. And one of the things he taught me, he says, live to run for another day. So that's my motto, right? If I feel discomfort, if there's pain because I pulled something or tweaked something, I need to stop. Mentally, I don't want to stop. I want to keep pushing. But I want to kind of go through that. And then the working out part, the physical part that we do to help condition ourselves, right? Push-ups, sit-ups, planks, weights, running, basketball, any kind of cardio, whatever it is that we do, aerobics, yoga, whatever. Sometimes it's kind of crummy, it doesn't feel good. But at the end of the day, the physical part can be incredibly rewarding. It adds to your overall health. It adds to longevity. In my case, lifting weights and doing strengthening of my core, super important at my age. But I hate it. Loathe it. I hate it. It's like workout reluctance, right? I don't want to do it. But I need to do it. So later today, I have a choice to make. I'm either going to do the weights and then the sauna, or I'm going to take the dog out. I haven't decided yet, and I'll make the decision later today. But either one of them, not exactly like I'm just jacked up, I can't wait to do it, but I have to do it, you know? The other day when I was at a funeral, I'm doing some training for a race later this summer, and I hate running on concrete, asphalt, just really hard on my legs, hard on my knees, you know, it's hard on my body. And there's like nowhere to go, and I thought, and hills are a challenge. So I ran the hills, and these were pretty steep. So a little over 3 miles, 3.5 miles. About a third of that was running hills. I ran the first one, and the mental part of the discomfort is I can't look at the hill. I look at the hill and I start, but as I run, I just stay focused on the ground. Once in a while I take a peek, but then I push forward. And the first one was hard. And the second one was not quite as hard. And the third one, the fourth one became easier, and they were longer, and it just helps with all of it. So discomfort physically is super, super important, because it's like some of your age or younger, or maybe even a little older, they lift weights, they bench 175, 10 reps 3 times. Well, then once they do that, you know, they do that again and again and again. Well, let's do 180. Let's see if we can do 180. And let's do maybe 8 at 180. And then we do 9, and then we do 10, you know. But the discomfort gives you the strength, right? And helps you with your body. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
What about experiencing discomfort on a mental level, like mentally?
I think that that does 3 things for you that are super, super important. Self-esteem. Helps with your self-esteem. Helps with your confidence. Helps you with your happiness. And it gives you peace. Right? So the confidence in doing something that's difficult. And it doesn't have to be like this monstrosity of a thing. It could be that later today, it's 4 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock. I've worked all day, I'm tired. I got chores to do. I don't want to do them. I want to sit, I want to catch up on sports, figure out why the Bears lost, you know, whatever, you know? All that good stuff. It's a great game. Phenomenal game. Anyway, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put the dishes up. I don't want to empty the garbage, you know. I don't want to clean the garbage. Whatever it is, it stinks, right? You don't want to do it. Discomfort. Just do it. Something small. And when you're done, you feel better, right? One of the things I have to start doing more, because sometimes different parts of the day I'm not drinking enough. I'm not hydrated enough. I get tired. I'll be reading something, all of a sudden the nods start coming, you know. I'm like, okay, get up, move around, do something, but really you need to hydrate more, you know. So I think just doesn't have to be discomfort, doesn't have to be painful, doesn't have to be like hurtful. It's just something that you don't want to do, right? Give me an example in your world, like this discomfort in your world.
Discomfort in my world. I would say sleeping in. Hate sleeping in.
Why?
I always feel if I sleep
Well, define sleeping in.
past 6 a.m.,
But what time you hit the rack?
probably no later than 11.
That's 7 hours. That's a good bit.
Yeah, but, you know, I just don't like it. I always feel like
You're missing
I've
something.
wasted
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like sleeping in.
Yeah.
And when I do, on Sunday, everybody kind of relaxes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't. I don't like it.
Yeah. But how is discomfort like in your world? Give me an example of discomfort that you push through on something.
Oh, I think in my world, in the industry that I'm in, challenging myself to talk to business owners sometimes when you feel like, oh man, this guy he has a lot of status. Intimidation factor kicks in, and kind of like, okay, I got to mentally prepare to.
Yeah. Call reluctance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. But I think that the mental part, it helps you with your confidence, man. It sounds silly, right? But I do the things to do list. I harp on this a lot because, man, it tells me what I've accomplished for the day. At the end of the day,
True.
It feels pretty good to see what I've done.
True.
And sometimes you have the goals, right? Here's your goals. But then you take goal one and then you break it down into days, weeks, months.
Mm-hmm.
And then goal two, you take it down into just days. And then goal three, it's every day. It's just habitual. So setting goals and achieving goals can be very, very uncomfortable. It can be very, very difficult, very challenging. Very challenging. Like right now, we're towards the end of January, whenever this drops, and go by the workout facilities and come on, what's happening? What's going on? People put the flag up. They gave up, right? They gave up.
I say that a lot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they don't want to hurt. They don't want to be painful. Mm-hmm. That's why I don't like lifting. But the more I lift, the less pain I have.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, suck it up, buttercup. Let's fight through it, So, yeah.
Here's a tip for today. I was talking to a guy that's in the medical field, and he was telling me that...
In the what field?
Medical field. He was telling me that our bodies are designed to be in motion. If we are not in motion, we start to break down. When he said it, never left my mind.
Yeah. I was told, I don't know, 6, 8, 9, whatever months ago, that after you eat a meal, supper specifically, dinner, your last meal of the day, you need to get up within 10 minutes and you just walk.
Oh.
And that helps a tremendous amount. Moving. Discomfort. I don't want to. Man, I just had a good meal, man. I just want to relax.
Sit down.
I want to suck it up. I want to inhale it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've touched on physically. What about mental? And what about on the spiritual side?
Discomfort
spiritually.
Yeah, that's for me personally, the biggest one, discomfort spiritually, it would be Jesus talks about the Sermon on the Mount.
The what?
Sermon on the Mount.
Okay.
He's at Mount Olives. He's up there. He's talking to everybody, right? And chapters 5, 6, and 7 of Matthew, he just rips it. He's just preaching, just jamming, right? And he says, love your enemies. Pray for them. That's discomfort. That's hard. Because when somebody wrongs me, I'm like, let's go, baby. Come on. I'm ready. Right? That's my natural reaction to defend myself. I'm not saying it's with you or you or you. I'm just saying that's with CY. And that's a hard one.
That's a really hard one.
That's a hard one for me. Right? And loving your enemies and just kind of surrendering it over to God and giving it over to Him and saying, yeah, that's not my world. I can't really do this. So. Keep them hummers at bay, man. Keep them at bay. Keep those people away from me, right? Because I'm maybe going to do, not do the right thing, right? And that's hard. Especially we're in business and people say things all the time, man. These things here and this here is These, it's insane what people do nowadays with they speak through their fingers because they would never, ever say to your face what they say with their fingers. Never would they do that. But because it's the fingers, it's no problem, you know. It takes a lot of, that's a lot of discomfort for me. And so how do I fight through that? I got to give that over to God and let him figure that out. And I cannot do it. I will fail, you know. I will fail. So I have to surrender that. Otherwise it doesn't. I mean, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, actually I was on the way up my drive today. It's interesting you bring that up. I was listening to a gentleman and he was saying, honor your mother and father, one of the commandments. But a lot of times when we hear that, he says that, it says honor your father, you still have to honor them even if they abandoned you. When he said that, I was kind of like, ooh, that's interesting, because that's kind of on the discomfort side.
No, it's huge.
It's huge.
Huge.
I had never heard anybody say that.
Yeah,
because you hear honor your mother. What about even if they abandoned you?
Yeah.
Or even if they
harmed you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Traumatized you. Whatever. Yeah.
Still honor them.
Yeah.
That's
don't want to do that.
Don't want to do that.
Don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's a big negative. You know. Yeah. Another thing, and this can apply to spiritually, mentally, emotionally, that I found I have to do in my life, is if there is some kind of a confrontation. Somebody sends you an email. Vendor, bank, friend from church, brother, sister, mom, dad, whatever. My old Chris, 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
I already know.
I'm just going to rip it. Did I ever do that to you? No. Oh, okay. I thought maybe you had personal experience.
No, just...
Oh, you just know my personality.
Yeah,
I don't like
been around you too long.
Yeah, I don't like to sit on things. I like to. For me to think is to act. And so now, for you to think is to say, first it was wait 10 seconds. 10 seconds, that's it. That's all I can do, just 10 seconds. And then it was, okay, wait an hour. No, actually, it was 10 seconds.
You're dreading
10
it.
minutes. 10 minutes, just wait 10 minutes. Do not respond. Do you know how much discomfort that is? That's major discomfort for CY. Major. And then it was an hour, and now it's 24 hours. And by the time the 24 hours rolls around, whatever. It's 5% maybe of discomfort, 5% discomfort, versus it was keyed up at 100% when I just smash somebody, you know? It's like, no. I got to do the 24 hours. I got to do the 24. Yeah. And what I've learned is inherently people don't go through life. Some people do, but 99% of people go through life and they say something, they do something, they respond, not because they want to just jam you up, right? They just don't know any different. They don't know any different. Now, there's some people that are just plain ornery. That's the part, pray for your enemy kind of a thing, right? But I think the 10-second, dude, I remember playing racquetball, right? As a 25-year-old, getting beat. And dude, I would take the rackets and smash that racket against the wall and be so angry, like it's the racket's fault? It's the racket's fault? Like, are you kidding me? I could just feel the red. I could just feel and dude, I'd have a racket just be all mangled, you know, it'd be all busted up. You know. And my buddy, man, he just like, Chris, man. He just wouldn't say anything. He didn't know what to do, you know. I look back at those times and my, holy smokes, man, that was crazy times, right? But working through all that, the discomfort of saying, slow down. Don't react. It's okay to respond, but don't react.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it just all kind of, it always works out. You know, it's always not as crazy.
I gotta
seems.
change that then, because sometimes I overreact myself and I want to respond right away. So that's something I gotta work on.
Respond is okay. React is not. You think of it allergic. There's no such thing as an allergic response. It's allergic reaction, which is a negative thing, right? Appropriate response is okay, measured. I can think of something that happened to me in, let's see, October of this year. I got an email from somebody in my family. And I waited 24 hours. And I said, I will respond to this. This is early October. I'll respond to this before Thanksgiving. Before Thanksgiving.
You tell them? You told them
yes.
that?
In 24 hours, I said, and immediately the same thing. I had an email written. It was all written. Didn't send it. So I will respond before Thanksgiving. And I did. Because my wife was having major surgery. I didn't want to deal with it. There's way more important things going on than this kind of stuff, right?
Gotcha.
And, you know, and I apologize for the error I had and so on. And it's just amazing. It's all fine. It worked out, you know. But anyway, I think it's important that we push through that discomfort, the things that can make us, you know.
Well, I know it's a process because
it is.
Because I just picked up a couple of things that I know that I need to, you know, work on. So, name 3 times in your life where you experienced extreme discomfort, and how did you overcome those?
Okay. I'm going to do mental,
Okay.
emotional, physical.
Okay.
Okay? So the mental is kind of starting my own company and having those doubts and having a phone next to me of calling people cold about their listings that had expired, or they were trying to sell a house on their own and they don't want to talk to a realtor, and I would call them and bug them, you know, or just service, anything to do with calling and having a potential confrontation on the phone. And I would have a picture, I've shared this, of my wife and my daughter, right? And there's a phone. And I'd go to my office and I would make that first call. And once I made the first call, which I hated that. I hated that. But once I made the first call, and the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth, it just rolls through it. But getting through that, the mental, super hard. Just super, super hard. The emotional would be the trauma. About 5.5, I don't even know. I have to go back and look. 5.5 years ago, I went to a place called Onsite down in Nashville. I was there for 6 days, sequestered. No phone, no computer, no communication with my wife, anybody, for 6 days. And I was on my 7th therapist. Okay?
Wow.
7th. And he got to me. And he'd been after me for 6 months, 9 months, a year to go to Onsite and get some things resolved because of some things that happened in my life through no fault of my own. There's 8 major types of trauma that you can experience as a child. I'd experienced 7 of those 8. And I had to face something that, you know, my stepdad had to face some things and some anger and hate I had towards that. And he'd been long gone. He was gone for 40, 50 years, whatever. And I was still carrying that crap. Let me tell you, major, major, major discomfort. But, wow. The freedom and the peace coming out of that, never experienced that before. And now, it just helps me in everyday life. Some of the things we just talked about, you know? I was just an angry, not a good person for a long time. I'd worked through some of that just through sheer will and discipline, but I didn't understand why I responded certain ways, and certain things triggered me. And so that was just, I can't describe to you how powerful that was, that experience. I was in a room with 7 people, complete strangers, and a therapist. And there's 50, 60 people, however many were there, all from different walks of life. Professional musicians, you know, people that were influencers on Insta with millions of followers, all these different people, business owners, lawyers, you know, housewives, just all kinds of different people, all kinds of different issues. Throw them in the room, and for 6 days you get to know these people, and you just let it go, man. And there's another episode all of its own on how I got to that point. But that was huge. And then the coolest thing ever, physically, ever, you know what this is, right?
What?
You know what this is?
The marathon?
No. Marathon. Never run a marathon.
The 5K.
No.
Oh, the climb.
Yes. Climbing Kilimanjaro. This episode's about ready to drop a year from when I did that at age 65 with Shane, my son. Holy smokes. Hardest ever. Physically, mentally, and spiritually the most. Just crazy, amazing. And you talk about the discomfort, you have to talk about the benefits of discomfort, not the actual pain or the hardship or the discomfort, right? And let me tell you, when you reach the top of that mountain in Kilimanjaro, Africa, the largest freestanding mountain in the entire world, okay? 19,341 feet. It's a 9-day climb. First day easy, 9th day crazy, 8th day summited, 7th day ridiculously and utterly absurd. 7th day we went from 15,000 elevation, and by the way, we saw five helicopters that day. 5 helicopters bringing people down, people tapping out, sick,
What?
whatever. Oh yeah, bringing people down. They weren't taking people up to the mountain. They're taking people down the mountain because they're hurt, they're injured, they can't make it, whatever it is, right? So we went from 15,000 to 18,500 feet in one day, which the higher you go when you climb, the oxygen just gets to be smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Right? And we get to that point, and by that time there's all kinds of snow. The sun is brutally hot, even though it's 15 degrees out. The sun's just so bright up there at the top, you know. And then we went down, we put spikes on our equipment so we could walk in the snow. And the snow is like old school snow when you're walking through a field and you take a step and you go down like 2 feet. So you got like a 30-minute walk down into our base camp where we were camping for the night, which we slept inside a glacier, basically a volcano. And I kept stopping. I just didn't have the physical strength. I was just completely spent. And we get within about 200 yards. Okay? And I'm like, I can't walk another step. And so the guide and the assistant guide, I was like a drunken sailor, right? I just was like, my feet are kind of dragging in the snow, and I just collapsed in the tent. And later that night, altitude sickness cut in, and I was vomiting. I get up at 3 in the morning, We start climbing to ascend at 4. Okay? We had another 800 feet to go to the top. And the discomfort from the night before and the day before was something I'd never experienced before, ever. Okay? But then at 4 in the morning, we get up. I'd felt better because I'd vomited and got some of the crud out of my system. Our blood ox at that point at night, the night before, was down to 74. If you know anything about blood ox. You know, if you got 90 or 92,
90,
they're putting the oxygen.
Right.
You're sucking the oxygen.
Right.
Well, up at the mountain, that doesn't, you know. They basically make a decision how you're feeling and responding, if you're coherent and things like that, which I was. Anyway, so we get up and we're climbing at 4. The lights are on, right? And at 6 o'clock, we reach the top. And let me tell you, all the discomfort. When you go to the ocean and you're on a beach and it's dusk and you see the sun and it feels like it's 1 minute. It literally disappears into the water, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
I've seen that, yeah.
Okay. The opposite happened. Because the sun was starting to break, you know, it wasn't fully up yet. We're taking pictures, in 10 minutes we're up at the top, you know. We turn around to start descend, and the sun, I have a video. It popped up in about a 45-second period. It came right over the mountain. Come on. That is worth all that discomfort. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Amazing experience. Yeah.
What about spiritually? We
covered the spiritual part. I think we covered enough on that earlier. It was mainly the mental and the emotional and the physical. But the spiritual part of that is a whole other episode of the climb, you know.
How often should you experience discomfort and why?
Daily.
Daily?
Why not? Something small. Why not? You know, for some it might be, it's 7 o'clock at night and I got to put my kids to bed. And they want me to read to them. For some people, that's easy.
Mm-hmm.
For some people, it's hard.
Depends on the situation.
Right? It could be your wife, your husband needs something at the grocery store. You put in 12 hours. You're tired. You just ate dinner. She really needs something, or she needs something at Walgreens or whatever. You know, she needs something, or he needs something. You get up and go. Discomfort. Or it could be the working out, right? Or the emotional, or the mental, the harder things. Aren't necessarily daily. They're just things that you set goals for and achieve. But I think daily. I mean, how would you answer this? You tell me. Throw it back at you.
The only thing I can think of is if you're going through discomfort on a consistent, what does that do with, how are you balanced? What does it do with stress levels? Like that's where I'm thinking, that's where my mind is right now. Like it's great to experience discomfort, but the two things that come to mind are, okay, how does that balance stress, and do you have balance when you're discomfort? And how do you?
I think that's a fair point. That's a good question. I mean, if you're feeling stressed about it, you shouldn't do it.
Okay.
Right? You don't want to try to accomplish one thing that creates a problem for another. I mean, if you're stressing because you got to go to Walgreens and pick your wife up, some aspirin or whatever it is, come on, man. That's not discomfort. That's just, you know what I mean? It is, but it isn't. It's not stress.
Mm.
But if you're stressing because you got a deadline, you need to push through it, Well, guess what? How come you have the deadline? How come the deadline isn't, how come you're not, I mean, why isn't it done? Whose fault is that? That's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
Deadlines are there for a reason. Personally, I love deadlines. I love deadlines because I always wait till the last minute to do them. I excel under pressure. And a lot of times, like for the podcast, for example, I think I told you I finished this episode this morning about what we're going to talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm thinking about it. I think about it, and I think about it, and I think about it, and I sit down and I write about it. So to me, it's not a big deal, but if discomfort is causing you stress, then you need to reevaluate whether you should be doing it or not. Or you need to evaluate why it's causing you stress. Just because you don't want to do it, well, okay. You don't have to.
Does
that make sense?
It does, but then when you listen and when you talk to people that are a little bit successful, they always say that having a balanced life is a lie.
It's a what?
It's a lie.
A lie?
Yes. Because you're always going to be out of balance somewhere. So you can't be totally balanced.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I was the guy from Shark Tank.
Yeah. Which one?
O'Leary.
Really?
Yeah.
What's his nickname?
What's his nickname? I don't know what his nickname is.
Mr. Wonderful? Is that who you're talking about?
It might be Mr. Wonderful, yeah.
He's the bald guy?
Yeah,
that's Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah. He was saying, he has some stuff out. He talks about some good stuff. But he was saying that, it's almost impossible to have a balanced life if you are trying to become successful.
I don't know if I agree with that or not. I have to dig into that a little bit.
So those are the things that I'm thinking of. When you ask that question, that question,
but I guess
that's
back
where
to
I'm
you
at.
is let's not overthink it, right?
True.
Okay? Let's not overthink it. Let's not make it so it's crazy, super stressful.
Right. In some or all areas of your life, that threw me off, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Why is it so important to push through discomfort?
Okay. I'm going to read you something. This is the day before I climbed the mountain.
Okay.
Let me read this. Little background first. This adventure requires mental awareness along with physical endurance, both of which I have wanted to push myself and stretch forward with growth. The spiritual experience, being in touch with God's creation, will be unmatched at this point in my life. The challenge has been accepted. Let's climb this mountain. Yeah. It's just pushing yourself to another level of, experiences, life experiences you've never done. I mean, it's an incredible blessing that I have pretty decent health and in physically good shape, mentally in good shape, but not everybody has that, right? So those are all kinds of levels of discomfort that I don't have to experience. But I have other levels that I've experienced through trauma and other things that I've had to push through. So I think that one of the benefits of pushing the discomfort is, if I did that, now what can I do, right? So what's next? So my whole thing is, when I did that, a year ago, it's like, all right, if I did that, I got to do at least one hard thing physically every year, as long as I'm able. One hard thing. And I'll tell you what that is in 6 months. I'm training for it right now. But I mean, the discomfort, dude, I was training in 5-degree weather with 20 pounds on my back. I'd hike for 5 hours, 4.5 hours. Training. That was discomfort. But it made it easier when I got there, right? So just pushing yourself, man. There's nothing like pushing yourself and planting the flag.
Yeah.
Here's an example of, let's see, we're talking about discomfort. And my wife just sent me, it says, if you want me to make smoothies, I need bananas and spinach. So that means I got to go to the store, which I hate going to the grocery store, right? So that's discomfort. I don't want to do it. But I want the smoothies. So I got to do it, right? So
that's funny.
But yeah. So discomfort, man. I think it's fun, it's challenging, it's rewarding, it's incredibly beneficial, life-changing, potentially, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes just little things. Yeah.
I think too, this topic is great for this time of year because I feel that when you go to the gyms, we're at that 2-week mark where people are starting to disappear from that New Year's resolution that they made.
Yeah.
So making that mindset shift of, hey, let's go through a little bit of discomfort and just keep pushing.
Push through the pain, man. No pain, no gain, the song.
Yeah.
We should play that in this episode. By the way, did we get permission to do that?
I'll talk to the expert.
I would listen. I would listen to the song "No Pain, No Gain." Who's the? I can't remember who the. Hang on, I can plug this. That's allowed. Plugging is allowed. No.
I'll chat.
No, we're plugging. We're gonna plug. We're plugging. We're plugging. The song is called "No Pain, No Gain" by Majestica. Majestica. Get ready, man. That'll just rock your world. See, I think we're done.
We're
right?
done.
We're signing off. Okay, bye-bye.
See you guys.